Hi friends, this is Lisa, and today I'm sharing with you a card video I'm calling Creating Layers with Distress Oxide. So instead of using colored pencils or Copic markers to color in my image and the background, I went ahead and used different inks and stamps and stencils to create a really unique look. Here are the main supplies I used during this video. I used a few more that you'll see, but go ahead and stop here if you need to. And enjoy! Now, I really want to be able to black heat emboss these lines, but I also want to do some stuff that I can't do with the black heat emboss, right? So, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pick them up with my Misty, and then I'm going to take just regular Distress ink, antique linen. So I'm just gonna lightly glide over. Gonna very lightly kind of take that first bit of ink off. Slap him over here. Get a good pressure. And, oh, okay. I can just push him down a little bit more. I think this is the right amount. Okay, I can definitely work with this. So I'm gonna put it aside for a few minutes, and I am not gonna take him out. I'm just gonna move him over. And I'm gonna create a background. I personally find when doing the backgrounds with the Distress Oxide, it's very soft. You don't get any of these splatters as much. It's very much, you can tell which colors are Distress Oxide and which are the Distress ink, right? I typically do 2 Distress Oxide colors and 1 regular Distress ink, because the regular Distress ink kind of takes over, so that's why I only do 1. But you do get a lot more cool, defined areas. Starting with the broken china, because we're making this as a background, and then we'll use some of this peacock feathers. And I do not swipe it through each other because I feel like you can contaminate your stuff pretty easily. Contaminate your inks. Now, what we're gonna do is take this, move my stuff out of the way. I'm really trying to get it to bead up. So, the first time I typically just kind of press it down, get a nice background there. Pull it up. Ooh, that is what I'm talking about. So I heat dried the first layer, and I probably do more than you need to, but I really like it quite dry. And then I go in and just add where it needs it. So this is the second coat. I think I'm gonna stop there. You could continue, and I think I added a little too much water to get these harsher, more defined areas, even with the distress ink. We've got this, and it's dry. So, what's the next thing I want to do on it? Oh, I know. I'm going to take these bad boys. Now I'm going to grab my stamp, Misty again. And since I don't have the mini Misty, I have this whole extra space, right? I really want to get the Tim Holtz stamp positioner, which would mean I'd have 2 stamp positioners, which, hello, awesome. But also, I really like how the Tim Holtz one is open on the corners, so you can do a larger piece of paper. When I do backgrounds, a lot of times I'll do the full paper, and I just really like that, so. Let's go ahead. Now, if this paper was exactly the card size, I would have an issue, right? But since it's a little bit bigger, it's okay if it doesn't go off the edge. Now, I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Salty Ocean to kind of pick up the Salty Ocean colors in the background. Cool. Now I'm going to very lightly mist it. Now I'm going to cover my paper. And that way I'm getting a much softer image. You can see that. It's much softer than it would have been. Before I take that stamp off, you can see a lot, what that water is doing is kind of like wicking away a lot of that color. So you get a lot of white lines where text or, you know, the stamp would be, which I really like. But I'm going to heat set this. And before I go on, what I could do is place this back here and do another light coat of this Distress Salty Ocean. And it would, the white would still show through because it has expanded, but you would get more of a defined edge, which I don't want to do though. I just wanted to let you know that would look really cool. So we're overlapping this just a little, and I kind of want it at an angle just so I get that movement, right? If it's straight under this, there's no movement. It's here it's like quonk, quonk, bleh, right? I hope you appreciate my sound effects. So, now this one I'm not going to mist. I'm gonna kind of go over. I do want to make sure I get enough ink on there, but not too much, right? So I'm taking a little bit of it off as I swipe. I made sure to tap down everywhere, but I took a little bit off. So it's not going to be perfect stamping. This is background, right? I don't want it perfect. I'm not going to press real hard because I can always go back. That is exactly the amount that I wanted, right? See, because it's a little bit darker, you get a little bit more. So there's a layer, like there's now 3 layers, as opposed to if I'd done the same thing that I did with this stamp, it would have just been 2 layers. Now it's the background, the map, and this little taggy thing, right? So you get just a hint. Oh, that's perfect. Sometimes things just work out, right? So I think the next thing really I need to do is get my guy going. So let's move this out of the way. And let me go pick out some new distress colors. So I'm back. I have my stamped man. I'm not sure if you can see him very well, but as I work, he'll come out. I have my stencils at the ready. I have my correspondence stamps at the ready. Small grid blocks. I'm just all Tim Holtz today, apparently. And a bunch of distress ink. And then 1 distress oxide color. So let's go ahead, and I think what I'll start with is his hat. So I'm going to grab this black velvet 1 brush, script brush, and you can tell if it's a script, that means it's like a liner brush. The bristles are very long. So, off camera, I sprayed a little bit of water, and see, when it's actually watered down, it gets very thin and to a point. So you can do these long, graceful lines. It's not what I'm using it for today, but just so you know, that's kind of what it's for. I'm going to take a little bit of this black soot. I don't need a whole lot. And let's grab some of it. Ooh, we'll see how this goes. Oh, we'll see. Oh, it's very creamy. Can very easily follow the lines with this brush. That's why a lot of times you'll hear it called a liner brush as opposed to a script brush. But it doesn't hold much water. But I think I really like that natural highlight is coming along this hat, so I'll just keep it like that. Take a little bit more. Perfect. I think I might grab a little bit darker so I can darken up just around the edges. Okay, perfect. Clean it out. And let's see, is there any other, there's really not any other area. Maybe his little mustache. I guess I sprayed my brush too soon. He can kind of have nice dark mustache. I'm cleaning my brush. And since I'm not doing a whole lot, it's not a big deal that I'm not, I don't have a whole like jar of water with me. But if it does bother you, just have your jar ready. Be prepared, unlike me. Let's see. So I'm going to take this stamp and go ahead start with some peacock feathers. I don't know, can you guys see that? Peacock feathers. Gonna to start, just fill it in. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think it'd also be really cool to kind of paper piece him together. And I'm adding a little bit of the more concentrated color just to kind of give it some variation. I'm going to come over to the other side. The heavy color really gives it so much more texture. You can get things perfect, or you can really bring it alive, is kind of how I feel. You want a perfect, you know, go for it. I personally really love when images kind of come to life with all the excitement and drama you get from adding more to it. And I'm going to take first the antique linen, regular old distress ink, and vintage photo, which is a great one here. And then some more water, and just kind of paint him in. And you can see that a bloom started to happen because the rest of it was heated and there was extra water here. I should have daubed it up a little bit, but of course I was way too excited about getting other parts of the picture done. So, but that is going to be covered, so no worries. No need to like freak out about it, worry about it at all. Nice little numbers. This number back. Guess you really have to kind of go. And then I want some of that lighter color, but this distress ink is just not going to work. So I'm going to pull out my distress oxide in the same exact color. Because snap, I have that. And grab some of this. I'll do is go like that. Kinda, I think you'll see it more as it dries. Perfect. Let's see. Let me heat this up. There is some text. And here it is. Here's some beautiful text. Okay. Perfect. It fits perfectly. I think this stamp was made for this little grid or vice versa. So I want to get some very concentrated, wordy color. So we're going to go like this. And to follow his body. And it also has some words on it, this little place stamp here, stampy thingy. Go over here. Fit it in like we said earlier. Move it around. Get the movement going. So we got that. And we use this teeny itty bitty numbered stamp to fill in some of these empty areas. And this is a specific card for a specific somebody that I know that I think is going to really enjoy it. And that's why I'm taking extra time, because I love to do this kind of stuff. And he's an awesome guy. But really, the Tim Holtz stuff just speaks to me. It says, Will would love this. This is my friend who I'm making this card for. And I was just like, I have to make this card. I thought about it, and I was like, he just graduated from getting his PhD and is starting now. He said he just moved to a new school where he's gonna teach and whatever. So he bought himself a house. Like, I really wanted to say congrats on, winning at life. Not all of us are quite there yet, but good job, you. So, and then I just had this idea, and I was like, I have to do this. I have to, right? It's just gonna look so amazing. I'm hoping it looks good. Really getting in there. I really want this pattern to kind of come out. And then also going to kind of, now, once I go ahead and stamp this again and put the embossing powder on, you're really going to see the image, right? It's not going to look quite so fanciful. And I'm going to cut it out around the very edge and put black outline on it. So it will look you will really be able to know what it is, right? Just because you can't really tell at this exact moment doesn't mean that you won't be able to when it's done. So, before I mask though, I want to make sure that is bone dry, because if it's not, even the lowest tack tape will pull it up. So I'm going to take some of this washi tape, because I know exactly what I'm doing next. And I'm just gonna pull it like that so it does not have almost any tack. And I'm gonna pull this, get it nice and snug in there. Now I really want this stamp. Since it's green, I'm feeling the leaves. What I might do is kind of one fuller one before I kind of start filling in. I can stop here. You can stop at any time. Stop when you're comfortable. I am not yet comfortable. So I'm gonna go ahead, go wild and crazy, which you may learn is me, wild and crazy, and just add a little bit more. Right? Can there really ever be enough? No. The answer is never. Never enough. I really want to darken that up a little bit. Like, get it in there. Get in the hose. Okay. Ooh. Now, you might be saying, whew, whew, what is she doing there? What is she doing? Pull this off. Pull it off. Pull it off. Oh, look at him. He is just coming along. Coming along. So real quickly, grab there, upside down and sideways, and perfect. Okay, 2 simple stamps, and it gets all together, it's all working out. Ooh, here we go. Okay. Let's go there. Very tiny hint, but it won't be bright white with nothing else going on. And maybe a little bit of this faded jeans. So just a hair, right? We grab a little bit of that back. Don't think I grabbed any back. I don't think I did. I think that was a fail. Okay, now I think that area is just a little too small to worry about adding even more texture to. So there he is. I'm gonna pause, clean all this up, let him finish drying, and then we can stamp him out, see if it comes out the way I'm thinking it is. But so far, I am thrilled with how he's looking. Now, my guy is completely dry, bone dry, and I'm ready to go with the embossing. I would say if this was a more glitter appropriate card, I think this would be a really cool time to add some silver glitter dust before you actually emboss it. Just a thought out there for anybody who tries to recreate or kind of takes this technique into a different kind of card, right? But before I take the next step, sorry about the loud noise. I have to keep my powder tool close at hand. On this one, it wouldn't be bad if you got a little bit of extra powder places, right? Because it does not need to be perfect. But it's always nice to just double check, make sure. And what we're gonna do, get him into position. Use my Versamark Onyx Black Pigment Ink for Fine Detail pad. Get it everywhere. Step 2, ink up the guy. Really want to get him nice and juicy. Oh wow. Oh wow. That just came out perfect. Just perfect. Can you even believe that? Okay. Let's take a little bit clear embossing powder. No. Okay, so let's just stop and take a moment and be like, holy crapperdoodles, that looks amazing. He just looks so perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Oh, I was so excited. And see how all that stamping and different layers kind of like fade backwards when you get the real black embossing. I'm going to use the Tree Line stamp by Tim Holtz and create 2 tree lines. So first I think will be right here, and this one will be here. And the first one is going to be the peel paint, and then the second one is going to be the lucky clover. So we're doing the peel paint first because the trees in the background, trees further back or even mountains further back, are usually lighter than the trees in front. Oh, sorry, did some rearranging. Things are rolling around. Ooh, look at that. We'll go one more time. Before we move on to the next layer, I just wanted to let you know, if you wanted to build a layer on top of this, I think that Tim Holtz has the same stamp in a die. So you could die cut that out of different cardstock or some stencil material or a bit of acetate. Lay that over and then stencil over it or stamp over it, right? You could do really whatever you wanted. I don't think I'm going to do that today. I feel like there are plenty of layers, and with another layer of trees, they'll be fine. I just wanted to let you know that you can do that, and it would look pretty cool. I'm really excited that as more Distress Oxide colors come out, it's just so much fun to be able to pick and choose which colors you're using on which project, and having more colors is always better. So I'm super excited. I have 12 right now. I'm hoping the new ones come out pretty soon. Now if you see right here, these two, little areas of blue that show through between the two tree sets, you can go back in, and if you have one of those, like if you have a little dauber tool or something, you could just hide that with the darker green. But I'm not worried about it. I think my sentiment will be going over that area. I went ahead and die cut this A2 Distressed Edges from Spellbinders, which is one of my all-time favorite dies. I don't know if you can see this, but I have cut this die quite often. It's very shoo. So I cut it out twice. The first time I cut it out of this Tim Holtz Craft Core Nostalgic Collection by Coordinations Color Core cardstock. And the second time I did it out of the background piece that we made. So now it fits in kind of like a puzzle piece. So I'm going to take this little distress tool. I like it. I think that distressing the edges just really takes it up a notch, especially with this being a very masculine card, and I guess even beyond the masculine card, we've done a lot of different layers, and so that adds another layer. So the last thing I did was I heat embossed with this Ranger Gold Embossing powder the congrats word from Big Greetings. Then I went ahead and put some foam behind him, and all I'd have to do is tape him down. I want that to be straight. Here we are at the end, and this is the final card. I matted the congrats just to give it some definition, and I put the whole card on a Nina Desert Storm card base that I made. As you can see, the card turned out amazing. The trees did oxidize a little bit. I'm not sure why I didn't put any water on top, so that's something to think about if you recreate this card. If you do take any inspiration, send me a link on Instagram, and I'd love to see it, what you've done. So follow me on Instagram and subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more videos like this. This has been amazing. I'm so glad we got to share this journey with each other, and I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day.